Now, welcome to my tube. I am Margie, Heoka, empath, sometimes standing turtle. Today I'm just trying to stay even keel, so I'm just going to be Marge today. Not that I feel like I am two separate entities with two different names. Don't get it twisted. I'm waiting for my feathered friends to start dropping in. It's about that time of day. They're around earlier. I've been inside, shut up all day. They're putting a new roof on the place across the street. It caused me great anxiety early in the morning, and I just have been trying not to be a dick all day. Mostly I succeeded. Mostly. I got to meditate, stayed 2 different sessions. One about 50 minutes, the other about an hour. What else am I gonna do? What else am I gonna do but try and keep the peace that's raging within me? See, people that don't got emotions, I'm a what I like to call full spectrum spectrometer. I feel all emotions, and I don't necessarily just feel my own. Oftentimes I pick up on other people's. That's why I spend so much effort on trying to drown other people out, because I already feel their energy. I don't want it affirmed by hearing what they say, you know. Excuse me. And you know, my endocrine system has always been compromised. My I'm short tempered, you know, and I ain't never put my hand on nobody out of anger. I have out of self defense plenty of times. You know, I don't know where the storyline exists that men don't hit women, because I know I don't see how that's ever followed through, but it's just something people say. It's just another storyline. So I've had a lot of traumatic things happen in life, and someone earlier on an earlier talk I did, they're like, "What is this about? What are you doing?" And I'm like, I'm a person that has a lot of anger that doesn't try and take it out on other people, so I talk through my feelings and my emotions in a public forum in case other people that have trouble with anger and containing their emotions might need to cross my path and hear something I need to say, because it's that connection from one human being to another that makes things a little bit easier in life. That's why I try to connect to people here, because I can't go out and connect in the world. The world is very unfriendly to me. They just keep coming up with more and more stupid rules, and I don't want to play their dumb reindeer game, so I just stay at home and hang out with mom anyway, but I'm less inclined to go out, you know. Society isn't for a lot of people. It's not, but the world isn't made for everybody. It's only made for those that care and want to make money and drive Teslas and fucking Audis and bullshit like that. I like this shit. This is what I live for. White dragonflies. That's what all I want to hang out with. I don't gotta do nothing to do it, you know. My life has never been mine. It's never been mine. I've always done what people have told me to do. Because not only do they often hold you, how often in life do people start out being emotionally held hostage? You need to act this way, because if you act this way, then I'll love you. How many people have that programming in life? I hear it all the time. That's why I drowned it out. I'm always hearing ultimatums, and I always thought, you don't do that. You don't, you know. But then later, people are like, no, you have to have boundaries. Well, is that an ultimatum? I don't know. It's all so confusing. This dragonfly's bouncing around. I just want to go over and take pictures of him right now. It's been a very hard day for me. See, I respect rules and regulations for the measure of safety. I do. I'm all about safety first. That's something I say all often, frequently. Safety first, safety first. But when people feel so unsafe that they're just trying to create more. Dude, when it's your time, it's your time. When people freaking get good with who they are and recognize that they're just a spiritual being, just cruising, trying to cruise through life, trying to keep it even keel, because so many people in the world just like to antagonize, man. It doesn't matter how old they are, it doesn't matter what sex, what gender, it doesn't matter sexual orientation. There are just people that just literally suck. They will just be like contrary in a fucking very uncool way. And that's hard for me. So I'm willing to drop out of society. I am. I'm willing to go live on my little cabin with Mom in the woods, and be a recluse. I'm willing to do that because frankly the world that's the thing is someone made fun of me earlier today because they're like, oh, well, I thought the world was going to end, making fun of my belief systems and things like that. And I'm like, I ask myself all the time, what has to happen in life for someone to feel like their world has ended? One time I walked into a place of employment and I thought I was going to get a raise, and then they gave me my walking papers. So my world really ended. But, it's just like something shifts, something changes, and the planet ain't ever going to be how it was before. It's not. It's never going to be how it was at any. And now from this point on, we can make changes for it to go in a positive trajectory if the control freaks just calm themselves down, get quiet, go sit in a dark room, listen to some nice music, turn off the news for an hour, get in touch with yourself, and then plug into a power that's much, much bigger than you. And then you don't feel like you need to do so much administratively to put constraints on. Because, see, I'm here to tell you, I put a great deal of effort into not losing my shit. Most people on the planet do not put in the effort that I put in to keep my shit contained. I talk trash to people and they're like, I'm scared. I'm like, all I'm saying is what you're doing. And I say it in a loud, clear, concise way, and people are used to so many mumbles McGees and Magoos all over. They don't speak clear and they say one thing, but they mean something else. There's all this cognitive dissonance running around on the planet because there's all this military shit. Because military, they don't got no rules. They do what they want. The Swingin' Wieners Club. They go over to this country, bomb them, take their shit, fill up their houses with freaking, and museums with other people's shit, trophies. Look what we did. Look what we did. And then go to church on Sunday and drink the representation of the blood of Christ when the extremist in every paradigm, well, if the representation is good, well, then the real deal's really gonna get me some geegies. So bring in the Wayfair. It's cool that people are catching up. I'm glad that people are finally opening their eyes to all this stuff. See, my whole life has been deniable. Okay, things have happened to me my whole entire life that people have said, no, that doesn't happen, because their own mental midgetdom, their own capacity, they don't want to look at things like that. They don't want to believe that things so heinous and so gross happen. They don't want to. Oh my God, God forbid something like that happened to my precious baby. Thank you for the affirmation. God forbid this, and the thing of it is, there's a balance, and there's a yin and yang in life, and there's a lot of people that have been through a lot of shit, and there's way more that haven't been through jack, and those scales are coming into balance, yeah, in a very, very cosmic way, karmic way. I'm already seeing it. I'll just pick a browser, pick a city, look at the news in that city. of like the local, like the domestic violence, like what people are doing. There's a lot of like people stabbing mothers and stuff. There's a lot of, it's this karmic incestual freaking pain and hurt that the DNA is waking up. And people are like, what is happening to me? I'm hearing voices. Those are your ancestors saying, stop being a fucktard and living for yourself, you egomaniacal fucking wanker. You know, I always had to, I've been in IT support. I always had to support the people that had the incomes that order, because I know what they always order the shit online from work, because very few people are doing work. So I see what they order, and they even have it sent it to work, you know, so their husbands don't find out. It's just, you know, yeah, people spend a lot of fucking money on some bullshit, you know. But as soon as people start waking up to the fact that they got a spirit, you're gonna start feeling see the spiritual ones, because you're gonna see some like people freaking offloading some serious cash here pretty quick, because they're like, I just want to make things better, and if I don't have the ideas to make things better, then I'm really gonna start endorsing and supporting people that I believe in. You know, there's a movie that I watched when I was a little girl. I was probably about 9, 10. It's called Something Wicked This Way Comes. It wasn't, see, in movies like that, they aren't even necessarily horrific. It's just, you know, it's just that energy, that vibe that it gets you. And that's what I feel across the pulse of the 45th parallel. Man, I know, I used to do things, I used to be the little bulldozer that would just bowl through things, and I still can, you know. I still can, easy. But I also know that puts a stress on my endocrine system. There's a lot more people like me that you know, see, I grew up in extreme poverty. I grew up watching what people do in extreme cases of poverty. Rats in a corner. It's gross. Because a lot of people turn to alcohol to make themselves feel better, and then, you know, wires get crossed, you know, feelings get hurt, misunderstandings happen, and freaking people get bludgeoned. Saw that the first time when I was about 9 years old, too. Opened the door, and I didn't recognize the guy's face. I had to look at his shoes and see that the neighbor Randy, his truck was there, and that was Randy in his shoes, because I couldn't recognize his face, because his face was rearranged, because I'm sure he had mouthed off to the wrong person drinking, and then somebody, you know, taught him a lesson. And you don't get to put your hands on people. You don't get to cause harm to another spirit. And every human being contains a spirit, even if it's small. Even if their spirit is small, they still got one. Everybody still has one. And everybody still has an opportunity to get their spirit to grow and do an about face and just live life different. Everybody has that opportunity. It's when people keep feeling bad about things that they've done, and they keep doing the same behaviors to do the same, perpetuate the same bad things that make them feel bad. It's just a vicious cycle, and I just want to help people get out of that cycle. It ain't easy for me, because I see the nonsense in a lot of stuff, and I see the power plays in everything. There's so many things that are just a power play. There's so many things that just because you can do something, just because you can, check if you should. Really check if you ought to. Check if you need to. And when I say these things, I'm not just saying them this way. I'm listening with my one ear too. Because these are things that smart people have always said, and when I meditate, these are the things that I get. Resistance, man. That is what's going to short people out, when people resist. So it's like, you know, I got to make a game out of everything. I got to make a game out of everything, because it ain't fun until I get to my little piece of nature in the woods, close to the woods, you know. And then, see, that's the thing. If I can get my own little place, I'm inundated. I'm inundated in the city. I can't live in the city. But I didn't know I couldn't live in the city until I lived in the city. But I've also saw the Great American Eclipse in Salem, Oregon back in 2017, and I've been on this spiritual trajectory of just tracking astrology and seeing people verify it and go, God, man, all they got to do is live from the higher aspects of themselves and not choose those lower aspects, those lower vibrational behaviors, those chasing sensations, those going after money, property, prestige, all that stuff you can't take with you in your next incarnation, man. This is just a blip in eternity. This point in time right now is just a blip. I saw that Wally World is mandatory mask now, and I'm just like, well, what do you know? Hitler did win after all. He really did. I mean, I already have these like vaccines in me that they put formaldehyde in that is also sped up the process of shorting out my endocrine system. A lot of people do. They put them in all vaccines because evidently the formaldehyde guide needs to make a mint too. You know, it's all these insane rich people. When is the last time a rich person came up with a really good idea? And I'm not talking about Muskrat. I don't count. That guy's on his own thing. He's mostly ego. I don't like those stupid cars either. Nope. But I'm the person that is not ever going to go with things that everybody else goes with all the way. But I do like a lot of music that a lot of people like. Corny, cheesy music and entertainment. That's where I connect with people, with entertainment. TV, movies, I can talk any genre, any freaking era. TV, music, all of it. All of it. I'm like a little computerized encyclopedia when it comes to that stuff. There's a lot of music that like everybody else loved and then I hated. I'm just like, all I hear is noise. It's not my frequency. It's not my frequency. It's not my tunement. It's not my path in this life, you know. We all have different paths, and sometimes we come into other people, we swing into other people's radars, and depending where we're sitting, and are we balanced? Are we negative? Are we positive? Are you doing the work? Are you putting the effort? Or are you just taking back and reaping all the rewards of making other people work? I think about that. You want to talk about freaking modern day slavery? That's the whole roofing industry. Those guys get paid, what, 16, 18 bucks an hour? Frickin' do hard frickin' in the hot sun all day long. And then their bosses make like frickin' probably 8 to 12 grand. It's a racket. It's all a frickin' club. It's an imbalance. And I really am of the belief system that the cancer that America is, the feminine, and the masculine, that the patriarchy created. This patriarchy, Uncle Sam, might is right. Listen to me, I'm the man. Yeah, sure, lady, we'll let you vote. If you're lucky. All that shit. All that hypocrisy, all that stuff that I just had to freaking just witness to my whole life. Just witness to it. My whole life. Just had to watch it happen. And then people in these control paradigms just made examples out of me. Just made, let's call her out. I was always the one that's called out. People like to pick on people. They really do. They really do. It's a frequency that narcissists pick up on, is that people have been hurt. The giver. The love. We just want to make everything and everybody happy. And then the narcissist comes in and said, I will take your essence because your essence will make me live oh so fruitfully. And it's seedy and it's gross and it's got to stop. It's always about the children. I was one of those children. Less than a year old. Indoctrinated into the seedy gross of the chasing sensations, swinging wieners club just 'cause I can. You know? And I'm one of many. Boys, girls, you know? And then I grew up and I started to watch movies like Chitty Chitty Bang Bang and stuff like that. And I was just like, I started paying attention who the kid catchers were. And now I'm really stepping into my role of catching the kid catchers. Yeah, I'm good at it. I'm like an esoteric Sherlock Columbo, Nancy Drew. I've been figuring shit out my whole life, and I'm pretty accurate. Ain't no 100%, but I'm pretty accurate. So you guys are in a lot of, you know, I'm glad that a lot of people are figuring it out. That I'm not the only one that's finding this stuff out. I'm glad for that. I don't even care if people watch my shit. I really don't. Because I don't need that kind of press, honestly. But the fact is that more people are starting to see how I see. And just that in and by itself makes the world a little bit less lonely. People need human connections, man. No, Stanley. I said no to you. People need them. I'm one of those that was like, I'm going to do everything by myself, golly goddamn it. It's me and I'm going to do it by myself and I don't need nobody. And I'm just going to learn everything I can so I can fix everything. If something breaks, I'll just fix it myself. And I became independent. But that's not full spectrum. See, you get your connections, true connections of source, God, good orderly direction, call it whatever you want, through your relationships with other human beings. So you can't get the good stuff without having people in your life. And that's hard for me because I've been burned a lot. I've burned people too. I'm a sinner just as much as I don't ever want people to ever think that I am too good because I'm a dick. I tell people that I'm an asshole. And they're like, oh, Marge, I can never. Dimples like that. No. And then till I am, and they're like, with dimples like this. And then they're like, God damn, you're a fucking dick. And then I'm just, here we are. So I always just like to disclose that I am full spectrum. I more so want to inspire and raise people in vibrational frequency, although I do exist to get people to think, to offer people food for thought. Like me or not, I will offer you food for thought. So, it's a lovely evening where I am. It was cool because every day I woke up, I had my fit, my flash, said my piece, affirmed a couple things, and then I got busy and I got things done around the house. You know, I used my energy instead of sitting there in my anger and being mad and letting my endocrine system just short out. I did things around the house. And that makes me feel better when I make positive choices. Because I'm thinking all the time. I'm thinking all the time. And if I don't have positive outlets, just like anybody else, shit gets negative, man. My ego kicks in. Why don't I have any friends? Why can't I have this? These dipshits have that. Why can't I have that? And all that stuff. And I'm just like, Marge, I've had a lot of experiences in life. I've had a lot of wonderful experiences in life. I've had a full spectrum life. I'm ready to live more life. I wasn't prepared. I guess for so long, the last 2 years, I've listened to readers and astrologers and whatnot talk about how different the planet Earth is going to be. And I guess part of me is like, man, I didn't even see any of that coming. Like, I couldn't, I didn't, nobody, see, that's the thing, is you can't predict what's going to happen. There's possibilities and potentials. Oh yeah, this could happen or this could happen. Like in the next couple months, the possibility of them swinging their winners and distributing and emptying some of their warehouses where their bombs have been sitting gathered. Let's initiate industrial military conflicts. Cue the bombs, and then there's gonna be because it's the astrology, because people aren't healing the wreckage of their past, so they're gonna fucking keep doing the same shit and create some wreckage in the present. Ugh. He don't like it out here either, and they're still wrapping up across the street. So I made good choices today that were in my betterment, and for that, I'm glad. But I don't always do that, and that's why another reason why I do these talks for accountability too, is because I don't always, and that's the thing, is I want to maintain my status. This ladder's heavy. I want to maintain my status of non-violent status, and for me, that's why I'm like, I gotta live. I can't live in the city. I'm putting my manifestation out into the universe. Universe, I need to. I'm gonna keep saying this, and then the stuff it'll happen, because the universe is like, yeah, we know, Marge, it's some bullshit, and we need you to get you out there, and so you can get on the trails, and meet some folks around Mount Shasta, and spread your little ray of light there, where it's going to be a little bit more open and receptive, where more people here know what Heyoka is. It's like, I've been looking for my people, my same frequency, freak tribe, my whole life. And the astrology is lining up that now, more than ever, I have the potential to find it, but I got to be the best version of me and stay in my integrity and balance. But balance is throwing fits and tantrums too. Fits and tantrums too. Fits and tantrums too. Throwing tits. Throwing tits. Alright, I'll go off on a tangent on that later with Mom. So I think that's about all I got. I had a rough day. I got through it. In these days when the energy may not frickin' be cool with your astrological placements in your chart, like today, I don't know what the frick was going on, but I was just like, omit, transmute, this shit ain't mine, this shit ain't mine, this shit ain't mine. I spend more energy just frickin' this shit ain't mine, and then I get exhausted and have a hard time doing my own shit that I gotta have done in life, because other people can't sue themselves, and I can feel the unrest all across the 45th parallel. That's about all I got for now. Hope you have a rad evening. Peace.